Hey guys, yesterday we talked about multiplying decimals. Today we're going to divide them. First thing I need to do is set up my division problem here. So I know that the number that's being divided is called my dividend and is going to go in my division house. Likewise, the number that I'm dividing by, my divisor, goes outside the house. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is ask myself, how many times does 3 go into 1? And I know that 3 goes into 1 0 times. So I'm going to put a 0 up at the top. Now I'm asking myself, how many times does 3 go into 10? 3 goes into 10 3 times. Now, it wasn't totally necessary for me to put that 0 above that 1. However, this is just a good way to stay organized. Now, 3 times 3 is 9, so I'm going to do that and then subtract. 10 minus 9 is 1, and then I'm going to bring down my 8. Now I'm asking myself, how many times does 3 go into 18? And I know it goes in evenly 6 times. 3 times 6 is 18. I'm going to go ahead. I'm left with 0. Now I'm not quite finished because I still have this 0.6 I have to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring my decimal up. Once I bring my decimal up, I can bring my 6 straight down. And I know that 3 goes into 6 2 times. 2 times 3, 6, so I'm left with 0. So my answer here, or my quotient, is 36.2. Let's do another one. 97.8 divided by 4. First thing I'm going to do is set up my problem. Divisor goes outside, dividend goes inside. So now my first question I'm asking myself is, how many times does 4 go into 9? Well, knowing my multiplication tables, 4 goes into 9 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. I'm going to go ahead and subtract that. I'm left with 1. Now I can bring my 17 down. And I'm asking myself, how many times does 4 go into 17? Well, I know it goes in 4 times. Because 4 times 4 is 16. Left with 1. Now, 4 doesn't go into 1, but before I can bring this 8 down, I have to bring my decimal straight up. Now I can bring my 8 down. And now I'm asking myself, how many times does 4 go into 18? 4 goes into 18 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. 18 minus 16 is 2. Now, 4 doesn't go into 2, but I know that there's an invisible 0 behind this 8. So I can add that and then just bring it straight down. Now I'm asking myself, how many times does 4 go into 20? Well, 4 goes into 20 5 times. And then I'm left with 0. So my quotient here is 24 and 45 hundredths. Let's do one more, then you'll practice. All right, 327.6 divided by 14. First step is to set up your problem. Now, you guys seem to freak out when numbers get big, so if you don't have your multiples of 14 memorized, it's actually okay to add them out and list them. So I know the first one is obviously 14. 14 times 2 is 28, and I have these memorized because I'm a math teacher. And then 14 times 3 is 42. But from there, it gets a little bit tricky, so I can actually go ahead and just add 14 every time. So this comes out to 56. I think that's as far as we'll go. So it's totally fine to list your multiples that way. It actually makes it easier. All right, so the first thing I'm asking myself is, how many times does 14 go into 3? Well, I know the answer there is 0, so I'm going to put a 0 above the top. I know that 14 goes into 32. Let's see, how many times can I count by 14s to get to 32? Well, 14, 28, 2 times. 14 times 2 is 28. Now I'm going to subtract. 32 minus 28 is 4, and now I can bring that 7 straight down. Now I'm asking myself, how many times can I count by 14s to get to 47? Well, let's go back to our multiple list. 14 times 3 is 42, so 3 times. 14 times 3 is 42. 47 minus 42 is 5. Now, before I can bring the 6 down, I have to bring this decimal straight up. And now I can bring my 6 down. And I'm thinking back to my multiples. How many times does 42 go into 56? And the answer there is 4. 4 times 14 is 56. I'm left with 0. So my quotient here is 23.4. All right, guys, that's it for me. You're going to practice.